Somewhere right now, someone just finished 1 hour of work. In another country, on the other side of the planet, someone else just finished their hour too. Same 60 minutes. Completely different reward. Today, we're crossing 12 countries to find out exactly what 1 hour of work can really buy you. Let's start our journey in Japan. 1 hour of work in Tokyo earns you about $7.86, or 1,226 yen. That's enough to buy one bowl of ramen for $5.30, an onigiri rice ball for $1.67, and a can of tea for 59 cents. The money runs out right there. Now let's fly south to Indonesia. 1 hour of work in Jakarta earns you about $1.97, or 33,121 rupiah. That's enough to buy one plate of street-side fried rice for $1.01, a glass of sweet iced tea for 28 cents, and 5 pieces of fried snacks for 56 cents, almost every cent spent. Across the Pacific, let's check in on the United States. 1 hour of work in New York earns you $17. That's enough to buy 2 cups of cafe coffee for $8, one bagel with cream cheese for $5, and tax plus tip for about $4. The money runs out. Now we head to South Asia, to India. 1 hour of work in Mumbai earns you about $1.25, or 118 rupees. That's enough to buy 2 pieces of vada pav for 59 cents and 6 cups of street vendor tea for 63 cents. A single cappuccino at a cafe is already out of reach. Let's continue east to China. 1 hour of work in Shenzhen earns you about $2.13, or 14.5 yuan. That's enough to buy one bowl of noodles for $1.47, a cup of soy milk for 44 cents, and a steamed bun for 22 cents. The money runs out. Now let's drop into West Africa, to Nigeria. 1 hour of work in Lagos earns you about 26 cents, or 360 naira. That's only enough to buy a small loaf of bread for 20 cents and a sachet of drinking water for 7 cents. No side dish at all. Let's head into the Middle East, to Saudi Arabia. 1 hour of work in Riyadh, for a Saudi citizen, earns you about $6.25, or 23.4 riyal. But that's enough to buy one shawarma for $3.47, a cup of Arabic coffee with dates for $2.24, and a glass of tea for 53 cents. The money runs out. Now back to Europe, starting in Germany. 1 hour of work in Berlin earns you about $15, or 13.9 euros. That's enough to buy 2 servings of currywurst for $9.71, a bottle of drink for $1.94, and a pretzel for $3.35. The money runs out. Let's hop across the channel to the United Kingdom. 1 hour of work in London earns you about $14.50, or 11 British pounds. That's enough to buy fish and chips for $10.13, a cup of tea for $1.27, and a scone for $2.53. The money runs out. Now let's swing back across the Atlantic to Brazil. 1 hour of work in Sao Paulo earns you about $1.67, or 8.6 reais. That's enough to buy a cup of coffee for 58 cents and 2 pieces of pão de queijo for $1.08. The money runs out. Let's travel back across the Pacific to South Korea. 1 hour of work in Seoul earns you about $7.50, or 10,300 won. That's enough to buy tteokbokki for $2.91, kimbap for $2.18, a soft drink for $1.45, and a few dumplings for 94 cents. The money runs out. For our final stop, let's head south to Mexico. 1 hour of work in Mexico City earns you about $1.90, or 34.8 pesos. That's enough to buy 2 street tacos for $1.09, a glass of agua fresca for 49 cents, and a small sweet bread for 33 cents. The money runs out. So, let's put it all side by side. 12 countries, 12 paychecks, 12 very different 1 hour menus. From $17 in New York all the way down to 26 cents in Lagos. Some earn more, some earn less, but everyone out there is solving the very same puzzle. Where in the world would your hour of work stretch the furthest? Tell us in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss our next episode. We travel the world one paycheck at a time, and there are many more countries still waiting for us.